All right, let's start over. My mic was totally muted. I just saw that. All right, well, that was a dry run. All right, so let me just start over. So my name is Kyle, and welcome to my channel where we take culture, TV, and movies, and we filter it right. And this is going to be a live stream of the State of the Union address with President Trump. And I was saying before I realized that my microphone was muted, that I have a couple things going on here. I may be taking a break. I got some signs that if I jump off, I'll put a sign up saying I'll be back and so forth. But the State of the Union address starts at about 9 o'clock. So in fact, I actually may take a break until then. But with everything set up now, I wanted to say that. And I also mentioned what the State of the Union was. It's a mandate within the U.S. Constitution, which says that the president shall address a joint session of Congress, which would be the Senate and the House, the upper and lower, and also includes the Supreme Court. They're all there, and a few other dignitaries, some people from the Joint Chiefs and so forth. All the cabinet members are there. Everyone's there. And if you saw the show, or if you've seen the show called Designated Survivor, there's always one person out there who's not there because the entire U.S. government is concentrated in one location. So anyway, so I actually grew up in the D.C. area and worked on the Capitol Hill near Union Station for many years and got a chance to do some errands on the Hill. I have family members that had contracts, defense contractors and federal contractors within that sphere. So I was up and down the Hill a lot in the various buildings, the Rayburn, the Cannon, the Longworth, Dirksen, all those. And it was a fun time. It was a fun time. It was a time when you could go up on the Hill and walk in pretty easily and not be, accosted by anybody because this is pre 9/11. So different world. You had more access back then. You saw people like Bob Dole walking around. There was no security or anything like that. So it was just cool to be at the seat of government all the time. And a lot of times I took that for granted. But now that I'm no longer up there, I go up there occasionally. I really do appreciate it more because when you're up in D.C., inside or around the Beltway, you get hit by politics 100% of the time, all the time, because that's just what it is. I mean, it's a political town. There's no industry really to speak of in DC. It's just government workers, lawyers, and politicians. That's it. So anyway, I hope this will be an interesting time. I wanted to basically talk about, I was curious essentially with the Democrats, okay, particularly with the Congressional Black Caucus, because if you looked at my thumbnail for this particular live stream, and by the way, we're looking at I'm not sure what picture we're looking at here. I guess this is going to be Capitol Hill, I imagine, the entrance there. So anyway, so the Congressional Black Caucus, the last year, they were wearing all of their kente cloth, the African, it looks like a scarf, but it's called kente cloth, and it's basically has spiritual implications. It's handmade. It's a lot of stuff behind that. And anyway, so they were wearing this stuff. And I tell you right now, I know that was, I won't say, I mean, it is what it is, but they were wearing that for whatever reason, I guess, to make a statement. So you have this obviously pro-Black garment on. It's a very serious piece of attire in the African culture. And so you're wearing it to represent, I would imagine that you're in solidarity with the Black people of your district and of this country, I'd imagine, because you call yourselves the Congressional Black Caucus. But yet when the president, and right here, here's a shot of the president, he's leaving. It must have been the White House, actually. Yeah, I was about to say that. It probably was. I'm not sure where this is, but he has till 9 o'clock. So they'll probably just race him over to the Capitol building. I mean, it's literally right down the street. Yeah, this is the White House, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, so with that, the president announced that, hey, Black unemployment is doing this and all this, and how all this progress is being made with the Black community, and yet none of those people clapped. They sat down. They stayed sitting and just had a scowl on the face, looking like someone had just killed their dog. I mean, it was really utterly pathetic. And And so I thought so obviously things are even better today. So what are they going to say now? I mean, what is it that they could possibly say now that would prevent them from at least applauding, shaking their head, smiling, or something? I'm just curious. That's kind of what I'm most interested about seeing. But there's other things too, because as you know, as we all know, we're on the heels of this impeachment hearing that after 3 years and many charges, finally we're at the point to where they finally had one that I guess stuck to their point. I mean, they thought they had something. According to Adam Schiff, who was the House Intelligence lead on this, he basically said there was a mountain of evidence. And same thing with Jerry Nadler, the judicial committee lead on him. He also in the House also said that there was a mountain of evidence, but yet all of this stuff happened, but yet there's not a single bit of evidence that came forth to say that President Trump did anything improper. And it's really sad because what's happening is, and what they've done is they use their resources in the mainstream media to basically push forth their agenda. I mean, I remember a time when the media, CBS, ABC, NBC, Fox wasn't around, I'm talking about, but when they would actually, yes, they were leftists, and we didn't really know what that meant back then, but they had a respect for the journalism and journalistic integrity. You know, if someone tells you that it's off the record, that means it's off the record. It doesn't get released. I did a video on Lee Atwater. He was a consultant to Ronald Reagan and many other politicians back in the 80s and in the 70s. And he was this cutthroat guy. And he was famous for making an interview where basically he was off the records talking about how the Southern strategy came about in terms of what that was. And the Southern strategy, I had a video on this as well, was not about making racist whites become Republicans. It was about saying we're looking for non-racist whites, people who are sensible, to understand that, look, racism is dying in the South. People are moving in because they want upper mobility. They want lower taxes. They want national security. Because remember, we're talking about a Cold War here. And so that was happening. And so he was explaining all this. And then he uses the N-word a few times. You know, again, in my video, I'm like, you know, whatever. He said what he said, but he was not saying it that the Republican Party was targeting racist whites. It was not that at all. The Southern strategy was a strategy to get Southern votes, just like there's a Northern strategy to get Northern votes. And so that gets conflated with what the left says. But my whole point in all saying all this is that that interview was held under lock and key for many years up until 2012 when Mitt Romney was running, and he made that 57% comment, or I think it was 50, whatever comment it was. It was basically dealing with marginalizing America. I can't remember the exact margin that was. But when that came out, the author of that quote, or the author of that interview, had passed away, and Lee Atwater had passed away. So Lee Atwater had said that should be off the record. And in doing so, that never hit the light of day. Had that come out today, no matter what you say about being off the record, on the record, the journalists today wouldn't even care. They don't have journalistic integrity, no matter how important it could be for national security or anything. We wonder why President Trump has to sneak out of the country and not tell certain people in the House that he's going to do something, especially if he's going to a security challenged area. You wonder why he does that. It's because he's worried that the media is going to leak it, or that even people in his own Congress is going to leak it. And so anyway, I'm going to turn this up and see if I can get some volume here. If this is bad, I'm going to turn this off and just listen on my radio. Listen on the TV. Let's see. It's going to be jumpy, whatever. So anyway, so I see to my right here, I see a kente cloth. It looks like they're going to be wearing those again today. You can't see it on this picture here, but I can see it on my screen here. So anyway. So I can tell right now this is going to be a difficult time for me to actually hear this while I'm doing it. So I'm going to turn it on my TV set here, and I'm going to listen to it and talk over it and turn the volume down here so that we'll at least have what happened. Hold on. Okay. So yeah, so I'm going to do this here. I'm going to jump off, and I'm going to turn the TV on. I'll come back in a few minutes. So they're bringing in the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. That's Justice Roberts. Hey, Jay Mary. Yeah, I apologize for having my microphone on again the second time. I have this big microphone here in front of me, and I can't see it down there that my microphone's off. So if I'm off, you guys yell at me on the chat. So because I don't want to jump off and do a break and have my audio still going on. So now this is all formalities. There senators. That's is that Collins? No, that's McCaskill, I believe. How difficult is it to go through everything they've been through with the impeachment and all the lies and all of that, and then to show civility in public when they know they don't like each other? It's being a politician is a really, 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 really interesting field to be in, because you have to be able to talk and you have to be able to negotiate and you have to be able to get together and get along, because some things are going to be, nonpartisan, where, that you're going to want to agree on. And it's kind of hard to agree and meet with somebody when you just had a drag out fight publicly and also behind the Senate and the walls of Congress. It's very, really difficult, I can imagine. But it takes a certain breed of person to do that. Person with a lot of thick skin and a lot of determination. And I know people want to give President Trump a hard time thinking that he doesn't have a thick skin. And I don't agree with that. I think that what he has is a sensitivity to fight back, because he knows if you don't do that, you're going to be taken advantage of, you're going to be manipulated. And he stops that sort of thing by, hold on a second. And so by doing that, I think Trump's able to squash stuff quickly, because George W. Bush, he essentially took it and they just kept hammering him. If George W. Bush had hit back like Trump had, the media wouldn't have messed with him like that. As far as, do I think he should mention impeachment? Actually, I do not think he should. And I think one of the reasons why the Democrats on Friday, or was it Friday or was it Saturday, they delayed through procedures to delay the closing arguments and the closing statements, so that it would fall on the Wednesday, the day after the State of the Union address. Why? I think they were fearful that he may do just what Jay Mary was talking about, that Trump would say, I've been acquitted, you guys, and then just hammer them on that point. But I don't think he would even done that either. I think Trump has more. I think he has more class, and he's got a lot of class, but I think he's got a lot more class than people want to give him credit for. Yes, he can go on the stump out from a group full of people who are his audience, who are his supporters, who are his ravenous fans, who sit out in the snow for 48 hours to go see him. Yes, he will hit them hard and joke or whatever. But when it comes to knowing his audience, he knows his audience. He doesn't go in front of the joint session of Congress and do something like that. But he will hit them, though. He will hit them with some things and maybe make an inference to that. I don't think he's going to mention it directly. I think he will maybe do a side comment or a back end comment that would be inferred as impeachment, but I think he won't go directly there. His speechwriters, Stephen Miller, is incredible. I'm sure he's doing his speeches still. And I haven't met him, but I saw him in his speeches at the rallies I've been to. and he's a fiery kind of guy. I'm pretty sure he's going to do something like that. So that's Melania. Awesome. I got my tablet here. All right. You know what's interesting? They said that when there was the coronavirus briefing going on, and Trump had his, I guess he had the HHS secretary and his cabinet, Joint Chiefs, and all that, and they were actually hitting Trump for saying that he did not have a diverse enough task force to take on the crisis. You can't win for losing with these people. Would you rather have a diverse staff which is incompetent and people die? Would you rather have a staff that's not diverse that gets the job done? At what point does skin color, ethnicity, sexual orientation, hair color, favorite sports team, since when does any of that stuff have to do with anything in terms of ability? It's just the most. And I'm going to go on a tangent here. I can tell you already. But it's one of these things when you have a philosophy, and Rush Limbaugh, as we should be praying for him as well, because he made the announcement he's suffering with lung cancer, and I listened to Rush for a long time, many years. I was a subscriber for many years. Thank you. Okay. If you can't hear that, I'm sorry. Let me pause this and turn it down. Hold on. Let me see. Let's wait.
Good evening and welcome to our PBS NewsHour special live coverage of President Trump's State of the Union address. I'm Judy Woodruff. He addresses a nation and a Congress deeply divided. In the last month alone, tensions with Iran turned violent, sparking fears of war. A public health emergency is in effect now as a deadly virus spreads from China across the globe. There's been confusion over primary elections in Iowa, and there's been an impeachment trial. Meeting tonight, the president will appear before senators on the eve of their casting their vote to acquit or remove him from office. Mr. Trump is expected to tout his economic accomplishments, including recent major trade deals with Canada, Mexico, and China. We will be watching to see if his tone seems aimed at calming and unifying the country, or if he strikes a more combative note, stoking further division.
Stoking. Can y'all hear this?
Is at the Capitol, and our Yamiche Alcindor is at the White House.
This is making me upset.
A live picture now of the House chamber with Speaker Nancy Pelosi on the right, the Vice President of the United States, Mike Pence, on the left, waiting for the Sergeant at Arms.
Could you, J. Mary? Could you hear PBS NewsHour? Can you hear the TV? This mic's pretty good, so you should be able to pick it up.
9 o'clock. Let's see if it happens right now.
All right, so she said a few things. She talked about the violence in Iran, and then she talked about China, and she talked about Iowa, and talked about impeachment. All of those things are the fault of the Democrats.
House chamber and the U.S. Capitol. Members of Congress are all expected to attend. Some don't. We are told that 2 members of the House are boycotting tonight. One of them is Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York. But in general, most
AOC is not there tonight. She can't take it.
Members, the vast majority of members of the House and the Senate do show up for this annual State of the Union address. And here we see the Sergeant at Arms moving toward the door. The president's cabinet has arrived, the Supreme Court, members of the Supreme Court.
Okay, so here we go. So I forgot what I was going to say before all that. I was talking about something. I couldn't remember what it was when I got interrupted.
In the Senate chamber, and here is the Sergeant at Arms.
So here we go. Sergeant at Arms is going to announce the president.
Madam Speaker, the President of the United States.
So President Trump's wearing his power red tie. Pretty awesome.
And as we usually see, the president comes in, he's followed by the congressional leadership, other than Speaker Pelosi, who's, as you see at the front of the chamber, that's the First Lady, Melania Trump. She just arrived a few moments ago following the president. You can see the Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell, Steny Hoyer, who is the #2 Democrat, the Majority Leader in the House of Representatives, along the line of members of Congress, members of the Senate, applauding and welcoming the president. Mainly Republicans, but always some Democrats, always members of the other party.
No, she won't be missed at all.
Greeting the president as he enters the
She will not be missed at all.
annual report to the nation, the State of the Union address.
So, okay, when she came on here, PBS NewsHour, she basically said that the violence in Iran. Let's talk about Iran. What's the problem with Iran? Well, Iran's been a hostile nation against the United States for the past 40 years. I mean, going back to the Iran hostage in Tehran with the Shah and all that. And we're dealing with someone like Barack Obama who didn't know how to deal with that country. And so when we had the situation with Saddam Hussein, going back a little bit further, a situation with Muammar Gaddafi, who was pretty much chilling. He was, minding his own business. I mean, he was a problem before, until Reagan took care of him, bombed his house and killed his son back in the day. And he was after that, he was chill, right? He was being a good soldier, right? He wasn't a good guy, but he wasn't doing anything. He wasn't proliferating nonsense like he was before. He was just doing this thing. Of course, Hillary comes in, they take him out. And what does that do? You had the Arab Spring rise up. You have then you have them pulling out of Afghanistan, which George W. Bush said, don't do it. You can destabilize the area. They didn't care because Obama wanted the political victory. He wanted to win. He didn't have the wherewithal or the knowledge or even he care about anything. He wanted a political victory. He wanted a political victory because he promised he was going to pull the troops out. He did it regardless of what it meant to our national defense posture, to our boots on the ground, to our intelligence on the ground, who was keeping us safe, which, by the way, was loosened by President Bill Clinton. Our personal intelligence, the spies on the ground, were being pulled back. So we're using, tactical weaponry without using human intelligence. And that caused the rise of 9/11, but I digress. So going back to getting that out of the way, then you have a little group called ISIS come up, creating a huge caliphate, and then we have what we have. So Iran, with the proxy war, was the one pretty much at fault. You can blame Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, and the Democrats for that. And to a lesser extent, George W. Bush for his aggression over that area. But I backed him going into Iraq because we felt that weapons of mass destruction were there, and I think they still were there, but they were moved through Syria. But that's a whole nother story. They shot it 4 more years.
Thank you very much. Madam Speaker, Mr. Vice President, members of Congress, the First Lady of the United States. Fellow citizens, 3 years ago, we launched the Great American Comeback. Tonight, I stand before you to share the incredible results. Jobs are booming, incomes are soaring, poverty is plummeting, crime is falling, confidence is surging, and our country is thriving and highly respected again.
So our country's respected again, and none of the Democrats are cheering. That should be a nonpartisan deal there, people.
America's enemies are on the run. America's fortunes are on the rise, and America's future is blazing bright. The years of economic decay are
The years of economic decay are over. Meaning, Democrats, you yeah, that's on you, dog.
The days of our country being used, taken advantage of, and even scorned by other nations are long behind us.
I agree. Let me put that up there. So,
On to the broken promises, jobless recoveries, tired platitudes, and constant excuses.
I agree, Jay Mary.
Depletion of American wealth, power, and prestige. In just 3 short years, we have shattered the mentality of American decline, and we have rejected the downsizing of Americans' destiny. We have totally rejected the downsizing. We're moving forward at a pace that was unimaginable just a short time ago, and we are never, ever going back.
we're never ever going back. I like that. I'm gonna make a note of that. I have something to say about never going back. I'm making a note of that. I got something to say on that.
I am thrilled to report to you tonight that our economy is the best it has ever been. Our military is completely rebuilt, with its power being
Oh, there you go.
anywhere in the world, and it's not even close. Our borders are secure. Our families are flourishing. Our values are renewed. Our pride is restored. And for all of these reasons, I say to the people
I'm taking notes so I can.
of our great country and to the members of Congress, the state of our union is stronger than ever before.
For those of you who have only seen a few of these, typically they say the State of the Union in a sentence. Typically in the old days would be like the State of the Union is good. That's all they would do. And of course, Trump's saying that and then some. There's a lot of tradition in all of this. A lot of pomp and circumstances. Hey, you're partisan.
This evening demonstrates how we are building the world's most prosperous and inclusive society, one where every citizen can join in America's unparalleled success, and where every community can take part in America's extraordinary rise. From the instant I took office, I moved rapidly to revive the U.S. economy, slashing a record number of job-killing regulations, enacting historic and record-setting tax cuts, and fighting for fair and reciprocal trade agreements. Our agenda is relentlessly pro-worker, pro-family, pro-growth, and most of all, pro-American.
So far, I don't see one Democrat clapping so far for anything. And all this stuff should be nonpartisan. What the heck are you sitting down for? I remember a time growing up when both sides would look for the one moment they could stand up in unison to say, hey, that's applaud. It's ridiculous.
We are advancing with unbridled optimism and lifting our citizens of every race, color, religion, and creed very, very high. Since my election, we have created 7 million new jobs, 5 million more than government experts projected during the previous administration.
That's a lot. 5 million more than projection. That's a lot. So Obama said, "Where the jobs? Where they gonna come from? Where they gonna come from? Are you gonna get a magic wand?"
Is the lowest in over half a century. And very incredibly, the average unemployment rate under my administration is lower than any administration in the history of our country.
No collapse, maybe a little bit. Nope. Nope. No collapse for Democrats.
If we hadn't reversed the failed economic policies of the previous administration, the world would not now be witnessing this great economic success.
Yeah, so he's going to, hey, Jay Mary, he's going to hammer Democrats through the last administration, and that's how he's going to hit them. And I don't blame them for not standing on that one, even though he's right.
The unemployment rate for African Americans, Hispanic Americans,
Here we go.
and Asian Americans has reached the lowest levels in history. African American youth unemployment
It's pretty disgusting, guys.
an all-time low.
Pretty disgusting to not applaud that.
African American poverty has declined to the lowest rate ever recorded. The unemployment rate for women reached the lowest level in almost 70 years, and last year women filled 72% of all new jobs added.
72% of all jobs that were added, I think that was correct, that were women. That's pretty impressive.
The veterans' unemployment rate dropped to a record low. The unemployment rate for disabled Americans has reached an all-time low.
So basically, their jobs are out the woodwork. Oh, there you go. They're all sitting there, mad, looking stupid. And here's the deal. They have a whip, a person that tells them what to do, how to do it. They all act and you.
Achieved the lowest unemployment rate recorded in U.S. history.
This is waterboarding for Nancy. Yes, I agree. This is torture for
A
her.
number of young Americans are now employed.
Mitch McConnell, you are the Mac Daddy. Mitch McConnell, you are the man, dude.
Were added to the food stamp rolls. Under my administration, 7 million Americans have come off food stamps and 10 million people have been lifted off of welfare.
Democrats don't like that. They want you to be on welfare so they can keep you dependent on voting for them.
In 8 years under the last administration, over 300,000 working age people dropped out of the workforce. In just 3 years of my administration, 3.5 million people, working age people, have joined the workforce.
Yeah, well, Mitch was let's just be honest with Mitch. Mitch was not the best, right? He was not the best. I mean, for a long time, we hated him. But for something put a fire in his butt.
The bottom half of wage earners has increased by 47%, 3 times faster than the increase for the top 1%.
I wonder how the Democrats are going to reconcile the fact that they have Bloomberg coming in there, just flashing money around, and they're mad at billionaires.
Incomes, wages are rising fast, and wonderfully, they are rising fastest for low-income workers who have seen a 16% pay increase since my election.
16%. I don't think I heard that stat yet.
This is a blue.
Hi, Jackie. How you doing?
boom.
Yes, this is incredible. Jackie says the misery on the Dems' faces.
Real median household income is now at the highest level
Is that
recorded.
hey Jay Mary, is that Mitch you saying is done in November?
Stock markets have soared, 70%, adding more than trillion to our nation's wealth, transcending anything anyone believed was possible. This is a record. It is something that every country in the world is looking up to. They admire.
So, Jackie, you missed it, but they did not clap for the black unemployment.
Amazing new highs. All of those millions of people with 401ks and pensions are doing far better than they have ever done before, with increases of 60, 70, 80, 90, 90% and even more. Jobs and investments are pouring into 9,000 previously neglected neighborhoods, thanks to opportunity zones, a plan spearheaded by Senator Tim Scott as part of our great Republican tax cut.
Tim Scott, man, that guy's a beast, dude. And he was kind of shaky too on Trump early on. I don't know if I remember. He was a little shaky on Trump early on. But he's on board now, though. He's on board now. But yeah, he's a little shaky early on.
In other words, wealthy people and companies are pouring money into poor neighborhoods or areas that haven't seen investment in many decades, creating jobs, energy, and excitement.
I just want him to say, and y'all MOs over here to the right over here,
This is the first time that these deserving communities have seen anything like this. It's all working. Opportunity zones are helping Americans like Army veteran Tony Rankins from Cincinnati, Ohio. After struggling with drug addiction, Tony lost his job.
that's one thing they do is do personal profiles to get someone in the audience in the box so they can make a statement and then
that invests in opportunity zones. He is now a top tradesman, drug-free, reunited with his family, and he is here tonight. Tony, keep up the great work, Tony.
And a lot of African Americans, a lot of black people are seeing the benefit from this, not only from coming out of jail, but the families are seeing it. The kids are seeing it. Moms, brothers, sisters. It's affecting whole families. And that's an unseen thing. That's what's going to take to get people to get out of the notion that white people and Republicans are racist. Because that's the only thing keeping black people back. They think Republicans are racist. That's the only thing keeping them back.
The Army has, for the first time ever, given many former prisoners the ability to get a great job and a fresh start. This second chance at life is made possible because
Yeah, Gowdy's coming pretty strong too. He's kind of.
Everybody said that criminal justice reform couldn't be done, but I got it done, and the people in this room got it.
Yeah, because that was a bipartisan deal. That was Van Jones and that was Jared Kushner. People talk trash about Van Jones, but he's got a little bit of common sense in his head. I mean, he's a liberal, whatever, but at least he can think for himself a little bit, just a little bit.
Thanks to our bold regulatory reduction campaign, the United States has become the #1 producer of oil and natural gas anywhere in the world.
That's incredible. Natural gas. I mean, I heard that the United States has more natural gas than there's oil in the Saudi Arabia and in the Arab countries. That's incredible.
America is now energy independent, and energy jobs, like so many other elements of our country, are at a record high.
Don't tell Joe Biden because he's talking about closing down the coal mines in West Virginia. Which, by the way, why Hillary lost Pennsylvania.
Numbers that no one would have thought possible just 3 years ago. Likewise, we are restoring our nation's manufacturing might, even though predictions were, as you all know, that this could never, ever be done. After losing 60,000 factories under the previous 2 administrations, America has...
I hope your mommy put you on blast there, Jackie. That's a good comment.
...new factories under my administration, with thousands upon thousands of plants and factories being planned or being built.
So, Jackie, we think about Bloomberg making all this money and coming on Democrats, yet at the same time, they're blaming billionaires. How are they going to reconcile that?
Companies are not leaving. They are coming back to the USA. The fact is that everybody wants to be where the action action is, and the United States of America is indeed the place where the action is.
Mike, no, they don't know what to do because they don't have any issues to run on.
One of the biggest promises I made to the American people was to replace the disastrous NAFTA trade deal.
You look, guys, Trump has been big balling. He has been big balling. I've been following Trump for many, many months now, for many years now. And I forget all this stuff.
Reason that I decided to run for president. Following NAFTA's adoption, our nation lost 1 in 4 manufacturing jobs. Many politicians came.
You can't stand who, Jackie?
To change or replace NAFTA, only to do so, and then absolutely nothing happened. But unlike so many who came before me, I keep my promises. We did our job.
Jackie, who can you not stand?
6 days ago, I replaced NAFTA and signed the brand new U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement into law. The USMCA will create nearly 100,000 new high-paying American auto jobs and massively boost exports for our farmers, ranchers, and factory workers.
Oh, Bloomberg. Right. We'll talk about him when I talk to you again, Jackie. I will talk to you on that. Make a note of that. Make sure we talk about that guy.
To a much higher level, but also to be a much greater degree of fairness and reciprocity. We will have that fairness and reciprocity. And I say that finally.
I want to talk about the identity politics. I'm going to make a note of this, Mike. I can't get in here. He's still talking. So I'm going to make a note of this and come back to it.
This is the first major trade deal in many years to earn the strong backing of America's labor unions. I also promised our citizens that I would impose tariffs to confront China's massive theft.
Bloomberg is a creep.
Our strategy has worked. Days ago, we signed a groundbreaking new agreement with China that will defend our workers, protect our intellectual property, bring billions and billions of dollars into our treasury, and open vast new markets for products made and grown right here in the USA.
I'm making a note about that whole China deal and the intellectual property. That's a big deal, guys. It's a huge deal what they're doing over there. They're basically breaking into our defense contractors and stealing their tech. They're going through the soft door of the civilians to get in that way instead of going to the government.
Now we have changed that, but at the same time, we have perhaps the best relationship we've ever had with China, including with President Xi. They respect what we've done because, quite frankly, they could never really believe that they were able to get away with what they were doing.
Pelosi. Oh my gosh, she is hilarious. Oh my gosh, she is hilarious.
Now we want to rebuild our country, and that's exactly what we're doing. We are rebuilding our country. As we restore American leadership throughout the world, we are once again standing up for freedom in our hemisphere.
Oh, they're texting.
That's why my administration reversed the failing policies of the previous administration on Cuba. We are supporting the hopes of Cubans, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans to restore democracy. The United States is leading a 59-nation diplomatic coalition.
Yeah, I think she's on something right now, Jackie. I think she's medicated.
Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro.
She clapped. Is that her first clap? It's funny, she clapped, but the rest of the Democrats didn't. Hold on, I'm not looking at it.
Maduro is an illegitimate ruler, a tyrant who brutalizes his people. But Maduro's grip on tyranny will be smashed and broken. Here this evening,
I did video on Maduro. What he did in Venezuela is nuts.
the hopes, dreams, and aspirations of all Venezuelans. Joining us in the gallery is the true and legitimate president of Venezuela.
Oh, wow, they brought him in.
Juan Guaido. Mr. President, please take this message back to you.
So I think they're signaling by Pelosi standing up, she's signaling to her people to also stand up. But at the same time, AOC, I'm not sure if her wing would stand up. But I think they're trying to do it lock in step so they don't look stupid. So they'll stand for another country, but they won't stand for America. That's the takeaway right there.
Please take this message back that all Americans are united with the
So they stand for a socialist country, but won't stand for their own country. And she stood up with the quickness. I mean, she flew out of her seat. Yeah, the live stream is about 25 seconds behind the real. Maybe 30 minutes, 30 seconds.
Remember, freedom unifies the soul.
He's a handsome dude, though. Venezuelan.
American liberty. We have invested a record-breaking $2.2 trillion in the United States military.
Money well spent. We have our new Ford-class carriers that are. We have our second Ford-class carrier that's come out, and those things are world beaters.
We have purchased the finest planes, missiles, rockets, ships, and every other.
OAC is not there.
Equipment, and it's all made right here in the USA. We are also getting our allies finally to help pay their fair share. I've raised contributions from other NATO members by more than $400 billion, and the number of allies meeting their minimum obligations has more than doubled. And just weeks ago, for the first time since President Truman established the Air Force, more than 70
Space Force.
years earlier, we created a brand new branch of the United States Armed Forces.
Space Force.
Called the Space Force. Very important.
Now the Joint Chiefs, they can't stand because they're partial. So these idiot Democrats don't understand that the war is going at the height. The war has always been about who has the high ground. The high ground now is space. And these Democrats are so ignorant to know that
And what he wants so badly, 13 years old, Ian Longfay. He's an 8th grader from Arizona. Ian, please stand up. Ian has always dreamed of going to space. He was the first in his class and among the youngest at an aviation academy. He aspires to go to the Air Force Academy, and then he has his eye on the Space Force. As Ian says, most people look up at space. I want to look down on the world.
I agree, Jay.
But sitting behind
That was very, very nice.
is his greatest hero of them all, Charles McGee, was born in Cleveland, Ohio, 1 century ago. Charles is one of the last surviving Tuskegee Airmen, the first black fighter pilots, and he also happens to be Ian's great-grandfather.
Wow. Looking sharp, man. He chilling, man. He's like, whatever, dog. How proud is he right now? How proud is that man right now? I can't be crying on live TV, y'all. Now y'all need to stop. I need to stop. I can't be up here crying.
Incredible story. After more than 130 combat missions in World War II, he came back home to a country still struggling for civil rights and went on to serve America in Korea and Vietnam. On December 7th, Charles celebrated his 100th birthday.
Wow. They were awesome, Jerry. I mean, J. Mary.
A few weeks ago, I signed a bill promoting Charles McGee to Brigadier General. And earlier today, I pinned the stars on his shoulders in the Oval Office. General McGee, our nation salutes you.
The general now. Good for him. Good for him. Quickly about the Space Force, guys. Look, man, the high ground is always the high ground, and the high ground right now is space. And you have scramjet technology, you have satellite technology, and the Democrats, that's something that we have to have. Otherwise, the next phase of warfare is going to be, we're going to be vulnerable. That's all I got to say about that.
To the founders, from the soldiers at Valley Forge to the marchers at Selma, and from President Lincoln to the Reverend Martin Luther King, Americans have always rejected limits on our children's future. Members of Congress, we must never forget that the only victories that matter in Washington are victories that deliver for the American people.
I think some Democrats are standing for that one. Nope, I'll take it back. Jerry Nadler was pissed. Oh, there's Booker.
The people are the heart of our country. Their dreams are the soul of our country. And their love is what powers and sustains our country.
Yes, we will be singing ducks.
Remember that our job is to put America first.
You combine that with nanotechnology as well. You know, it's going to be, you know, it's.
The next step forward in building an inclusive society is making sure that every young American gets a great education and the opportunity to achieve the American dream. Yet for too long, countless American children have been trapped in failing government schools.
Oh boy.
These students, 18 states have
Democrats don't like this one.
in the form of opportunity scholarships.
Democrats hate this one.
Programs are so popular that tens of thousands of students remain on a waiting list. One of those students is Janiyah Davis, a fourth grader from Philadelphia. Janiyah.
One of my passions, guys, is school choice, man. And this is a nonpartisan issue. I've been to several functions where Democrats, everyone across the board, Republicans, want the best for their kids. And school choice is the way to go. Locking them into a school, a failing school, because of their zip code is a crime. It's a crime.
Is a single parent. She would do anything to give her daughter a better future. But last year, that future was put further out of reach when Pennsylvania's governor vetoed legislation to expand school choice to 15,000 children. Janiyah and Stephanie are in the gallery. Stephanie, thank you so much for being here with your beautiful daughter. Thank you very much.
She's pretty. Cute. And the Democrats aren't standing for you. Honey, look to see who's clapping for you and look to see who's not clapping for you. Just take a look. Look to your left. Look to your left and see who's not clapping for you.
But tonight I have some good news for you. Because I am pleased to inform
Yes, it's all about the
you
unions. Exactly right. That's exactly what it is.
I can proudly announce tonight that an opportunity scholarship has become available. It's going to you, and you will soon be heading to the school of your choice.
Okay, now I'm gonna cry, y'all. I'm about to put it on. I'm about to put my little thing on here and go back to my room. And that's sweet. That's awesome. Now, headlines tomorrow is Trump is exploiting young black girl for his own political gain to cover up the impeachment trial. That's the headline tomorrow, guys. That's the headline.
Has just received passed the Education Freedom Scholarships and Opportunities Act because no parent should be forced to send their child to a failing government school.
Don't tell David that, Jackie. Even though I think he agrees a little bit about that.
Every young person should have a safe and secure environment in which to learn and to grow.
Look at Pelosi.
Our magnificent First Lady has launched the initiative to advance a safe, healthy, supportive, and drug-free life.
And Melania's holding it down, y'all.
Online, in school, and in our communities. Thank you, Melania, for your extraordinary love and profound care for America's children. Thank you very much.
She's holding it down, man. Talking about dignity, man. That chick has some serious dignity. To put up with what she put up, come on, man. You gotta be a strong person to put up with what she has to put up with.
My administration is determined to give our citizens the opportunities they need.
That makes sense, Jackie. That makes sense. But the teacher union. So, okay, I got it.
American workers, over 400 companies will also provide new jobs and education opportunities to almost 15 million Americans. My budget also contains an exciting vision for our nation's high schools.
Let me pull up some.
Tonight, I ask Congress to support our students and back my plan to offer vocational and technical education in every single high school in America.
That's awesome. We need that. Because President Trump knows with these jobs, 7 million new jobs, we got to have people in there that are trained, and college ain't going to do it all the time because we need plumbers, we need electricians, we need roofers, we need people who know how to do tangible skills, build an engine.
Equal opportunity. I'm also proud that we achieved
It's common sense, guys.
funding for our nation's historically black colleges and universities.
And I went to one Aggie Pride. Let's go. Aggie Pride, baby.
A good life for American families also requires the most affordable, innovative, and high-quality healthcare system on earth. Before I took office, health insurance premiums had more than doubled.
We have to lock down healthcare for 2020 for election. That's the only thing they have remotely to get him on is healthcare.
60% less expensive.
Because their narrative is pretty strong. They're lying, of course, but it's still a strong narrative that people are believing. But it won't be enough though, so don't worry about it.
I've also made an ironclad pledge to American families. We will always protect patients with pre-existing conditions. And we will always protect your Medicare, and we will always protect your Social Security, always.
Now, back in the day, as a Republican, you would never say that. It was like, oh, no, we're cutting Medicare, we're cutting Medicaid. But Trump don't care. Trump is a pragmatic. He's like, look, I'm not an ideologue conservative. You know, I'll spend a little money. I want the job done. But we need to get that debt down now.
Executive order requiring price transparency.
Which we will once we get the interest on the debt paid off. That's really the key thing. We have to start working on the interest on the debt, and that will help alleviate that. And in his second term, I guarantee you he'll attack that.
That transparency, which will go into full effect at the beginning of next year, will be even bigger than healthcare reform. It will save families massive amounts of money for substantially better care. But as we work to improve Americans' health care There are those who want to take away your health care, take away your doctor, and abolish private insurance entirely. 132 lawmakers in this room have endorsed legislation to oppose a socialist takeover of our healthcare system, wiping out the private health insurance plans of 180 million very happy Americans.
And that's the goal. That's the message, guys.
To those watching at home tonight, I want you to know we will never let socialism destroy American healthcare.
I'm working on a video right now. I'm going to tell you guys now since you're on the call. I'm basically on Bernie Sanders and socialism and what Trump can do regarding that and facing him in a general election. That should come out. It won't come out tonight because I won't get my audio done, but it'll probably come out tomorrow night.
Have endorsed legislation that would bankrupt our nation by providing free taxpayer-funded health care to millions of illegal aliens.
Ridiculous.
To subsidize free care for anyone in the world who unlawfully crosses our borders. These proposals would raid the Medicare benefits of our seniors and that our seniors depend on, while acting as a powerful lure for illegal immigration. That is what is happening in California and other states. Their systems are totally out of control, costing taxpayers vast and unaffordable amounts of money. If forcing American taxpayers to provide unlimited free health care to illegal aliens sounds fair to you, then stand with the radical left. But if you believe that we should defend American patients and American seniors, then stand with me and pass legislation to prohibit free government health care for illegal aliens.
He's not even holding. He ain't pulling no punches, man. Illegal aliens is like the N-word to a Democrat. Seriously, they don't like illegal immigrants. I'm sorry, it's an undocumented citizen who happens to be across the border.
It will be a tremendous boon to our already very strongly guarded southern border, where, as we speak, a long, tall wall is being built.
Talking about the wall. Pelosi just shook her head. She just shook her head. She was like this. She's like this dude. She was like, man. She shook her head like. She shook her head like. People who are
over 100 miles and have over 500 miles fully completed in a very short period of time. Early next year, we will have substantially more than 500 miles completed. My administration is also taking on the big pharmaceutical companies. We have approved a record number of affordable generic drugs, and medicines are being approved by the FDA.
This is why he's getting impeached, guys. This is why he's getting impeached. If you don't think you don't know why he's getting impeached, this is why he's getting impeached. They are total consternation.
And I was pleased to announce last year that for the first time in 51 years, the cost of prescription drugs actually went down.
I thought so too, Mike. I thought she was moving away from socialism too. Is that Pelosi's crown on the podium with the drinking? I think that is. What is that? What is that?
I've been speaking to Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa.
I thought you were kidding, Jackie.
In order to get something on
I'm sorry, Jay Mary. I thought you were kidding.
Done quickly and properly. I'm calling for bipartisan legislation that achieves the goal of dramatically lowering prescription.
It's right here by my thing, right here.
Prices.
You can't see it.
Bill on my desk, and I will sign it into law immediately.
My air conditioning cut on, so if you can't hear me, let me know. I'll turn it back off. I mean, my heater. Sorry. If you can't hear me, whatever, let me know. I'll turn the heat off. I got all these lights here anyway. It's kind of hot here anyway. I got 10 lights on me. They're heckling a State of Union address. Heckling a State of Union address. That's the first time I've ever seen that in my life. Other than the "you lie" for Obama back in the day, but nothing like that.
Ohio is down 22%. Pennsylvania is down 18%.
I can't post it. I want to put this on the screen so bad. I can't put this up. I got it from. Yeah, that's good. Got it from Meghan Markle. Perfect. I agree. How do you heckle the State of the Union address? That's no decorum at all to the United States. See, America sees that right there, and that's going to piss off all the independents. Only people you're talking to are your left base.
Also means fighting infectious diseases. We are coordinating with the Chinese government and working closely together on the coronavirus outbreak in China.
Do any of y'all believe it's bats that cause that?
Necessary steps to safeguard our citizens from this threat. We have launched ambitious new initiatives to substantially improve care for Americans with kidney disease, Alzheimer's, and those struggling with mental health. And because Congress was so good as to fund my request, new cures for childhood cancer, and we will eradicate the AIDS epidemic in America by the end of this decade.
They're not even clapping for health care for AIDS. I can't even. Isn't she from San Francisco? Oh my gosh, man, this is unbelievable.
Diagnosed with a serious illness. Here tonight is a special man, beloved by millions of Americans, who just received a stage 4 advanced cancer diagnosis. This is not good news, but what is good news?
Yeah, she'd be locked up. I agree.
Fighter and winner that you will ever meet. Rush Limbaugh, thank you for your decades.
I don't think he's ever been mentioned on the State of the Union address, ever. See, they're trying to make me cry in this mother. I can't. I'm about to cut this whole thing short, y'all. I can't deal with this. This is crazy. Rush Limbaugh is an icon, man. He comes from the school of William F. Buckley. You know, that's.
In recognition of all that you have done for our nation, the millions of people today.
Liberals are going insane. I need to be on Twitter.
And all of the incredible work that you have done for charity. I am proud to announce tonight that you will be receiving our country's highest civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
I know that means a lot to him. I know that means a lot to Rush Limbaugh. I've never met him, but I've listened to him for years. I bet that I know that means a lot to him. He never thought it would happen because he came under Bill Clinton, and George W. Bush, even though he listened to him, wasn't really gonna give him prop him up. And Herbert Walker Bush, well, I don't think he was there then. No, he was there. No, he was Reagan, then HW, then Clinton. Yeah, that's when. Yeah, Rush came in. So yeah, he had 8 years of Clinton, 8 years of W, and 8 years of Obama. So yeah, he didn't get much love at all.
I will now ask the First Lady of the United States to present you with the honor.
They'll do it now. Oh snap! This is unprecedented. Oh, I don't think they stood for Rush, Mike. See what? This is what you get when you get a president like Trump, who's not interested by lobbyists, PACs. You get stuff like this because he don't care. I don't want to cuss on this live stream, but he don't care, man. He don't give a rip, dude. He's like, whatever, I don't care, you know. And he just does what's right, man. He don't care about any implications, what kind of political backlash it has, what kind of.
Congratulations.
Oh my gosh, Twitter's gonna go crazy tonight. It's gonna blow up. Twitter's gonna blow up.
Pray for all who are sick. We know that America is constantly achieving new medical breakthroughs. In 2017, doctors at St. Luke's Hospital
He did raise, yeah.
He delivered one of the earliest premature babies ever to survive. Or to just
Remember Rush did that thing with the the T-shirt, I think, was it that he raised that money for charity?
Was a born fighter.
And they were, I remember what it was, but I forget.
Doctors and the prayers of her parents, little Ellie kept on winning the battle of life. Today, Ellie is a strong, healthy 2-year-old girl sitting with her amazing mother, Robin. In the gallery, Ellie and Robin, we are glad to have you with us tonight.
Can someone tell me what happened with what's up with the child here? I missed the intro for that. Is that what's the deal with the kid? Oh, Betsy Ross. That's it. Thank you, Betsy Ross. That's exactly what it was. Yeah, thank you. Even though President Obama had that on his inauguration behind him.
Child is a miracle of life, and thanks to modern medical wonders,
I agree.
50% of very premature babies delivered at the hospital where Ellie was born now survive. It's an incredible thing. Thank you very much.
I'm seriously tearing up here, guys. That's awesome.
Our goal should be to ensure that every baby has the best chance to thrive and grow just like Ellie. That is why I'm asking Congress to provide an additional $50 million to fund neonatal research for America's youngest patients.
Neonatal research goes against abortion because maybe the kid actually is alive. If you can, operate in the womb, and maybe the kid actually is alive. And that kind of flies in the face of their logic and their disgusting humanistic worldview.
That's why I'm also calling upon members of Congress here tonight to pass legislation finally banning the late-term abortion of babies.
There goes Jared Kushner, and I guess that's I think that's Eric's wife. Racist flag. It was a racist flag. You know, any state that has any country that has 13 states is automatically racist.
Whether we are Republican, Democrat, or independent, surely we must all agree that every human life is a sacred gift from God. As we support America's moms and dads, I was recently proud to sign
Oh, okay.
the law providing new parents in the federal workforce paid family leave, serving as a model.
Okay, so I have a
for the rest of the country.
I have a delay here on my other screen with the subtitles on, so I can actually read it. So if I miss something, all I can do is wait 45 seconds and I get to see it again. So this actually works pretty good for me. So I won't ask you any more questions. I'll just wait till the thing comes up.
Now I call on Congress to pass the bipartisan Advancing Support for Working Families Act, extending family leave to mothers and fathers.
This is Ivanka Trump right here. This is her deal.
40 million American families have an average $2,200 extra thanks to our child tax credit.
Here's the thing. What Trump's thing is this. Look, I'm spending money. I know it's not the most conservative thing to do, to spend a lot of money on programs. But Trump's thing is, look, if I raise enough money, there'll be enough money for everybody. That's his philosophy, you know.
Also overseeing historic funding increases for high-quality child care, enabling 17 states to help more children, many of which have reduced or eliminated their wait lists altogether.
I mean, do you think?
And I said Congress a plan with a vision to further expand access to high-quality child care and urge you to act immediately.
I mean, do you think a billionaire worries about double sizing a McDonald's Happy Meal? He doesn't, because he has enough money to pay for it.
The 1 Trillion Trees initiative, an ambitious effort to bring together government and private sector to plant new trees in America and all around the world.
No, actually, it wasn't Betsy Ross. It was actually she was not a Democrat, so she wouldn't count there.
We must also rebuild America's infrastructure.
Finally, the Democrats clap because they get to get those slush fund payments, you know, from those contractors and so forth, so they can funnel into their campaigns. It's soft money. That's what they care about.
You to pass Senator John Barrasso's highway bill to invest in new roads, bridges, and tunnels all across our land.
Hey, Jackie Russell, isn't that the guy in New York, the guy who built everything,
That every citizen
or is that the one?
access to high-speed internet, including and especially in rural America.
Oh my goodness, Nancy Pelosi actually stood for rural America. It must be an election year.
A better tomorrow for all Americans also requires us to keep America safe.
If that's the case, Mike, then you're absolutely right. Then we absolutely deserve that sort of the blood that's on our hands for abortion. By the way, I'm gonna comment about Trump's speech ad yesterday at the Super Bowl.
ICE officers arrested more than 120,000 criminal aliens charged with nearly 10,000 murderers, 5,000 sexual assaults, 45,000 violent assaults, and 2,000 murders. Tragically, there are many cities in America where radical politicians have chosen to provide sanctuary for these criminal illegal aliens. In sanctuary cities, local officials order police to release dangerous criminal aliens to prey upon the public instead of handing them over to ICE to be safely removed. Just 29 days
It's
ago,
funny, Nancy's shaking her head, but she has no argument against that.
the sanctuary city of New York was charged with the brutal rape and murder of a 92-year-old woman. The killer had been previously arrested for assault, but under New York sanctuary policies, he was set free. If the city had honored ICE's detainer request, his victim would still be alive today. The state of California passed an outrageous law declaring their whole state to be a sanctuary for criminal illegal immigrants, a very terrible sanctuary with catastrophic results. Here is just one tragic example. In December 2018, California police detained an illegal alien with 5 prior arrests, including convictions for robbery and assault. But as required by California's sanctuary law,
That's your state, girlfriend.
local authorities released him. Days later, the criminal alien went on a gruesome spree of deadly violence. He viciously shot one man going about his daily work. He approached a woman sitting in her car and shot her in the arm and in the chest. He walked into a convenience store and wildly fired his weapon. He hijacked a truck and smashed into vehicles, critically injuring innocent victims. One of the victims is a terrible, terrible situation. Died, 51-year-old American named Rocky Jones. Rocky was at a gas station when this vile criminal fired 8 bullets at him from close range, murdering him in cold blood. Rocky left behind a devoted family, including his brothers, who loved him more than anything else in the world.
I agree, Jay Merrick. There's enough money out there if you cut the BS crap. I mean, if you stop paying $4,000 for a nail, then all of a sudden things change, right? You end the corruption, drain the swamp. There's money out there. America's the most powerful, wealthy country in the world, so there is money for that. The reason why conservatives were so mad was because they couldn't get anything done because they were stymied by it. Because no one could break through. No one could break through that. Economic barrier, political barrier.
Senator Tom Tillis has introduced legislation.
Tom Tillis, North Carolina. I know Tom Tillis. He put me on a state board here in North Carolina. When he was speaker of the House of North Carolina, he put me on a special committee for technology. It was a internet technology for websites. Exactly, cut the pork.
The United States of America should be a sanctuary for law-abiding Americans, not criminal aliens.
I think he's pretty much giving them both barrels.
In the last 3 years, ICE has arrested over 5,000 wicked human traffickers.
Wicked.
9 pieces of legislation
This is Steve Miller, man. This is speechwriter Steve Miller. He is a genius.
My administration has undertaken an unprecedented effort to secure the southern border of the United States. Before I came into office, if you showed up illegally on our southern border and were arrested, you were simply released and allowed into our
Oh, and guess what? Tomorrow he gets acquitted.
again. My administration has ended catch and release.
What's huge, Jackie? What part? Yeah, Planned Parenthood, definitely.
If you come illegally, you will now be promptly removed from our country. Very importantly, we entered into historic cooperation agreements with the governments of Mexico, Honduras, El Salvador, and Guatemala. As a result of our unprecedented efforts, illegal crossings are down 75% since May, dropping 8.
And here's the thing. He's getting Mexico and those countries in Latin America, Central America. He's getting those countries to stop the immigration because he's using the leverage of the office, the power of the United States to put pressure on them financially. Then they're going to act accordingly because it's in their best interest. Very, very smart and politically very wise.
Drug seizures rise, and the border crossings are going down very rapidly. Last year, I traveled to the border in Texas and met Chief Patrol Agent Raul Ortiz. Over the last 24 months, Agent Ortiz and his team have seized more than 200,000 pounds of poisonous narcotics, arrested more than 3,000 human smugglers, and rescued more than 2,000 migrants. Days ago, Agent Ortiz was promoted
human trafficking
to Chief of Border Patrol, and he joins us tonight. Chief Ortiz, please stand.
Yeah, Trump just signed it. I think he did it. Was it a bill or was it a executive order with human trafficking? He's doing so much. I can't keep up with everything. He does. I was going to do a video on Trump's accomplishments. It's almost impossible. You do it, and then a week later it becomes obsolete because he's already added like 30 items.
All of the heroes of Border Patrol and ICE, thank you very much.
He's the hardest working president since James Polk.
To build on these historic gains, we are working on legislation to replace our outdated and randomized immigration system with one based on merit, welcoming those who follow the rules, contribute to our economy, support themselves financially, and uphold our values. With every action, my administration is restoring the rule of law and reasserting the culture of American freedom.
I like that. The culture of I like that. The culture of American freedom.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. Thank you, Mitch.
Mitch is killing it, man. What he's doing in the Senate.
We have confirmed a record number of 187 new federal judges to uphold our Constitution as written. This includes 2 brilliant new Supreme Court justices, Neil Gorsuch.
This is the single biggest impact that Trump's going to have on this country, because this is going to go on for decades. This is the biggest single thing that he can do for this country. In my opinion, this is the main reason why he's being impeached. Because what he and Mitch McConnell are doing in the Senate, extending the hours so that they can pass them quicker, because they're trying to use parliamentary procedures to delay by speaking a long time. But he's making them actually serve more hours, which means more people can talk, and therefore they can put more people in.
That includes the constitutional right to pray in public schools.
Actually, you can still do it as long as it's student led. You can't stop a student from doing it on his own or organizing on his own.
In America, we don't punish prayer. We don't tear down crosses. We don't ban symbols of faith. We don't muzzle preachers and pastors. In America, we
Strong words, muzzle.
faith. We cherish religion. We lift our voices in prayer, and we raise our sights to the glory of God. Just as we believe in the First Amendment, we also believe in another constitutional right that is under siege.
The gun,
across
Second
our
Amendment.
country. So long as I am president, I will always protect your Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms.
In fact, I'm packing now. That's what you should say. He should brandish a weapon on the he should open his jacket and be like, I got a Glock 21 right here.
In reaffirming our heritage as a free nation, we must remember that America has always been a frontier nation. Now we must embrace the next frontier.
Mike, he also did it under threat of impeachment and being attacked from all angles. Trump's a strong dude. He's a strong man. He was.
On the moon will be American astronauts using this as a launching pad to ensure that America is the first nation to plant its flag on Mars.
Trump is old school, baby. He's like, look, if we're gonna go to Mars, I want an American to be there and put an American flag on Mars. Love it. Hello.
Our national security and combating radical Islamic terrorism. Last week, I announced a groundbreaking plan for peace between Israel and the Palestinians. Recognizing that all past attempts have failed, we must be determined and creative in order to stabilize the region and give millions of young people the chance to realize a better future. 3 years ago, the barbarians of ISIS held over 20,000 square miles of
Talk about something.
in Iraq and Syria.
Soleimani,
Today, the ISIS territory
Baghdadi.
has been 100% destroyed, and the founder and leader of ISIS, the bloodthirsty
Baghdadi.
known as al-Baghdadi, is dead.
And the Democrats still sit because that's their homeboy. He was just a cleric. Oh no, she's standing now. That's pretty good. He was just a religious cleric.
We are joined this evening by Carl and Marcia Mueller. After graduating from college, their beautiful daughter, Kyla, became a humanitarian aid worker.
I think you guys are ahead of me. I'm watching it on Roku, PBS.
Some people find God in nature.
Exactly, J. Mary. Palestinians don't have a
Suffering. I've known for some time what my life's work is, using my hands as tools to relieve suffering. In 2013, while caring for suffering civilians in Syria, Kayla was kidnapped, tortured, and enslaved by ISIS and kept as a prisoner of al-Baghdadi himself. After more than 500 horrifying days of captivity, al-Baghdadi murdered young, beautiful Kayla. She was just 26 years old. On the night that U.S. Special Forces operations ended al-Baghdadi's miserable life, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley, received a call in the Situation Room. He was told that the brave men
Mark Milley is not to be messed with.
That so perfectly carried out the operation had given their mission a name, Task Force 814. It was a reference to a special day, August 14th, Kayla's birthday. Carl and Marcia, America's warriors, never forgot Kayla, and neither will we. Thank you.
Well, they used her birthday for that. So yeah, so I know, right, Jackie? Exactly. So the Palestinians, there is no compromise for them. With Hamas and Hezbollah, those guys, the only condition they want is Israel pushing to the ocean. So how do you begin negotiating when you're dealing with that kind of rhetoric? That's why Yasser Arafat was getting, beat down so much in the 90s, because they kept doing the incursions, because the suicide bombs that kept going off because Hamas kept driving them to do it, even though they were wanting to make peace. They couldn't do it.
Demonstrate the infinite depth of love that dwells in the human heart. One of these American heroes was Army Staff Sergeant Christopher Hake. On his second deployment to Iraq in 2008, Sergeant Hake wrote a letter to his one-year-old son, Gage. I will be with you again, he wrote to Gage. I will teach you to ride your first bike, build your first sandbox.
He look like Ben a little bit, Jackie.
Sports, and see you have kids also. I love you, son.
The haircut.
Take care of your mother. I am always with you, Daddy. On Easter Sunday of 2008, Chris was out on patrol in Baghdad when his Bradley fighting vehicle was hit by a roadside bomb. That night, he made the ultimate sacrifice for our country. Sergeant Haig now rests in eternal glory in Arlington, and his wife, Kelly, is in the gallery tonight, joined by their son, who is now a 13-year-old and doing very, very well. To Kelly and Gage, Chris will live in our hearts forever. He is looking down on you now.
This is probably one of the most emotional ones I've seen, and not that stuff that Obama did was just all fabricated, like the clock boy, all that stuff. I was all fabricated for effect. This is actually real people with real stories, and to Bill Clinton's credit, Bill Clinton did the same thing, but not quite as good as this. In fact, Bill Clinton kind of started this. Bill Clinton kind of started this whole thing, and Bill Clinton said we want about him. He's a fantastic politician, even though he is what he is, unfortunately.
Thank you very much. Thank you both very much. The terrorist responsible for killing Sergeant Haig was Qasem Soleimani, who provided the deadly roadside bomb that took Chris's life.
Soleimani was
the Iranian regime's most ruthless butcher, a monster who murdered or wounded thousands of Americans.
He kept his stuff on the down low. That's his thing. He kept his stuff on the down low.
As the world's top terrorist, Soleimani orchestrated the deaths of countless men, women, and children. He directed the December assault and went on to assault U.S. forces in Iraq, was actively planning new attacks, and we hit him very hard. And that's why last month at my direction, the U.S. military executed a flawless precision strike.
Flawless precision attack. Love it.
Reign of terror forever.
And see, here's the thing. All these words are chosen for specific reasons. These are the words that are going to go down to the annals of histories in the Trump library, on museums, on monuments. Because trust me, Trump will be having some monuments around this country when it's all said and done.
Our message to the terrorists is clear. You will never escape.
He really is playing a lot of clean air.
If you attack
if I wasn't on the air right now, I would definitely be crying. I already started a little bit. Yeah, this is a movie called Primary Colors. Mike, have you seen that? It was John Travolta and Kathy Bates. That was based loosely on his life. You know, bleeding heart, wanted to do right, but he had issues with the women.
Death and destruction, and start working for the good of its own people. Because of our powerful sanctions, the Iranian economy is doing very, very poorly. We can help them make a very good
Iran, man. Wow.
Recovery. It can all go very quickly, but perhaps they are too proud or too foolish to ask for that help. We are here. Let's see which road they choose. It is totally up to them.
He handled Iran really well. I mean, that really could have gone south quickly. But, I mean, he really had a calm head on that one. Had that been Hillary Clinton, we'd be at war right now. I guarantee you. She would have bombed the crap out. She would have bombed Tehran. She wouldn't have cared. Carpet bombed them.
Has allowed us to make tremendous progress. Peace talks are now underway. I am not looking to kill hundreds of thousands.
Hold that point, Jackie. I'm going to talk about that around me. I talked to someone about that today. But you're right. 100% right. More than you think, I think.
Law enforcement agencies. These are war fighters that we have, the best in the world.
Was Romney? Did they show Romney a picture of him?
To win or not fight at all.
I missed that.
We are working to finally end America's longest war and bring our troops back home.
So how many wars has Trump ended so far? Was it Afghanistan, South Korea, North Korea? If you want to count, if you include Yemen, some of the proxy wars over there, I'm not sure. I'm losing count, really.
War places a heavy burden on our nation's extraordinary military families, especially spouses like Amy Williams from Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and her two children, 6-year-old Eliana and 3-year-old Rowan. Amy works full-time and volunteers countless hours helping other military families. For the past 7 months, she has done it all while her husband, Sergeant First Class Townsend Williams, is in Afghanistan on his 4th deployment in the Middle East. Amy's kids haven't seen.
I would love to hear Rush tomorrow after getting that medal. Too bad I can't hear him.
Your family's sacrifice makes it possible for all of our families to live in safety and in peace, and we want to thank you. Thank you, Amy. But Amy, there is one more thing. Tonight we have a very special surprise. I am thrilled to inform you that your husband is back from the.
Oh, snap. Oh, snap.
He's here with us tonight.
Oh, that's so cool. They're bringing in the. President Trump, you are the man. You are the Mac Daddy. To do a. That's awesome. They might need to get a room like right now. Yeah, I got to go. We got to go. Got to get a babysitter. Are the Democrats cheering for the military reunion? Okay, this has turned to a Trump rally.
Welcome home, Sergeant Williams. Thank you very much. As the world bears witness tonight, America is a land of heroes.
Mike Pence is crying, I think.
It is a place where greatness is born.
Mike Pence is crying.
Where destinies are forged and where legends come to life. This is the home of Thomas
And
Edison
I think
and
Nancy's drunk.
Of many great generals, including Washington, Pershing, Patton, and MacArthur. This is the home of Abraham Lincoln, Frederick Douglass, Amelia Earhart, Harriet Tubman, the Wright brothers, Neil Armstrong, and so many more. This is the country where children learn names like Wyatt Earp, Davy Crockett.
You say Wyatt Earp.
This is
it's awesome. Wyatt Earp was the man. That stuff that happened in Tombstone was real. A lot of it.
Made their last stand at the Alamo. The beautiful, beautiful Alamo. The American nation was carved out of the vast frontier.
Oh boy, he mentioned the Mexican War. Yeah, Twitter's gonna be on fire tonight.
Determined men and women ever to walk on the face of the earth. Our ancestors braved the unknown, tamed the wilderness, settled the Wild West, lifted millions from poverty, disease, and hunger, vanquished tyranny and fascism, ushered the world to new heights of science and medicine, laid down the railroads, dug out the canals, raised up the skyscrapers, and ladies and gentlemen, our ancestors built the most exceptional republic ever to exist in all of human history, and we are making it greater than ever before.
I love this speech, guys. I love this speech. I mean, he is taking American exceptionalism and putting it at even a higher level than what even Rush Limbaugh had coined. I mean, he is really, really nailing it. I'm telling you right now, Steve Miller, and Trump really does a lot of the speech writing too. They work together. This speech is one of the best I've heard him do.
This is our glorious and magnificent inheritance.
And that's saying a lot, because the one in Warsaw, Poland was amazing as well.
We are the pathfinders. We settled the new world. We built the modern world. And we change history forever by embracing the eternal truth that everyone is made equal by the hand of Almighty God.
So Democrats don't clap for God either. Well, they booed God, so why would they clap for God? You can't,
America is the place where anything can happen. America is the place where
Campella.
anyone can rise.
Yeah, Carmela she looks terrible.
Here, on this land, on this soil, on this continent, the most incredible dreams come true. This nation is our canvas, and this country is our masterpiece. We look at tomorrow and see unlimited frontiers just waiting to be explored. Our brightest discoveries are not yet known.
Let me thank you guys for hanging out with me here tonight. That really means a lot. I think it's a lot of fun, but it's also historic. So thank you guys for hanging out with me.
Are not yet made. The American age.
And thank you for the input too. It's awesome.
The American adventure has only just begun. Our spirit is still young. The sun is still rising. God's grace is still shining. And my fellow Americans, the best is yet to come. Thank you. God bless you. And God bless America.
All right, I'm gonna turn the thing off. Hold on. All right, I'm not going to stick on here much longer, but I want to cover a couple of things for those who are listening and those who are catching this. If you're catching this on the live stream, that's great. Thank you guys for coming on. But if you're catching this after the fact, I just want to hit some points that I made some notes here. The thing with really is the situation. He came out talking about America being highly respected than ever before. He talked about the years of the economy being downturned is over. He talked about that we reject the downsizing of America. He talked about us being highly respected in the world again. And at that, I just lost track. And then he went on 7.5 million jobs, 5 point however many million more than they projected. But anyway, I had a couple of talking points here. I want to just go real quickly. Identity politics. That was the first thing I think Mike brought up, I think. So essentially the question was, are the Democrats going to, deal with other issues besides identity politics? And at one point I thought they would, but at this point they pretty much got lockstep with the radical left, that they don't have anything to run on now, because unfortunately for the left, their ideas don't work. And so in doing so, the only thing you can really do is do identity politics to even have a shot. But to make it work, you have to have a media that's going to be complicit in your tactics. And that's what we have right now. So they have the media on their side, and that's why they're having any traction whatsoever. Had this happened in 1995, this would have been a runaway. Trump would carry every state other than DC and other than probably DC. Seriously. So that's the real, and so they're lockstep in that. But the fact is, because they kept crying wolf over and over and over again, they're having a hard time, because now no matter what they do, even their fans are saying, hey, come on, guys, eventually you're going to show me something. And they haven't. So they're being demoralized. And I don't think identity politics is going to work for them anymore. I'm going to do a video on that, what their direction could be next. In fact, the Bernie Sanders one I'm going to do today or tomorrow, you'll see that as well. Intellectual property in China. So China basically has been, I kind of covered this before, where China basically is going into our defense contractors, hacking into it, stealing the tech, and turning right around and building a replica of what we've done. Hummers and helicopters. And there's a video out there I can post as well to show you the exact replica that they've done, prototypes that are some are even working. It's ridiculous. let me see, take a stand for Venezuela. They just stand for Venezuela because they won't stand for Venezuela, but they'll stand for Venezuela, but they won't stand for America. Super Bowl ad was awesome, I thought, because it was tied directly in with the the Black Lives Matter ad, and it was in black and white, and it was done in such a way that you didn't realize it was a Trump ad until halfway through, and by then, because they knew that people were going to turn the channel in the bar or home, whatever. And so by doing it the way they did it, and doing it with this black woman who everyone championed on the left, it makes it very difficult for you to come at that ad as being anything but positive. So that was a really brilliant ad. Just shows you how smart the Trump campaign is. Culture of I can't read my handwriting. Doesn't matter. And lastly, Mitt Romney. So Jackie, with Mitt Romney, essentially Joseph Smith, he was the founder of the Mormon faith, and he ran for president, and he always envisioned a Mormon in the White House. And so he was assassinated on this path to be president. He was in a jail, and they surrounded the jail, and he tried to climb out of the window, and they shot him, and he fell out the window, he died. So that was the end of him. I think, this is my personal opinion, that Mitt Romney really wants to be president and to fulfill that vision of Joseph Smith. That's my own personal take. So anyway, that's all I had, guys. So this has been awesome. It's about 10:30 right now, and I am going to call in the evening. I have some more editing to do for a movie review I'm doing. I saw Little Women. Pretty good, actually. I didn't know anything about it. And I'm gonna do my review on that. I've already edited it. I've already filmed it. Just gotta edit it and put it up. So that'll come up here in a few hours. And yeah, so if you're on this channel and you like what you see, like and subscribe, share with your friends. I do this, none of my channel is really monetized. Only a couple of videos are monetized. I'm not at this for the money. I'm really out this to get the information out, to give President Trump and conservatives another wing that they can use to disseminate information. If I can just be a small part in that area, that's all I really care about. If it does what it does, I don't care. I enjoy doing it because I enjoy just what I do. So with that, I hope. Oh, here you go. The Kennedy cloths. Those are the Kennedy cloths there, I guess. And he's shaking hands. I'll follow this out. I'll wait till he finishes and I'll call it out. So is there anything else anybody want to talk about, or is there questions or anything? I can stay on for a few more minutes. But this was a great speech for President Trump. I think he did a fantastic job. His voice didn't sound like he was 100%. Maybe he's having a cold or something. But like a trooper, he stood in there. And the deal with Rush Limbaugh was really, really impressive. A lot of things that happened in this speech that I have never seen in the State of the Union address. I've never seen heckling of that nature. I do remember that one time where I forget the guy's name, when he shouted out, "You lie," to Obama. And even though he was right, that was breaking decorum. But this was an outright heckling of the president by over 10 people, I believe. And I thought that was kind of ridiculous and total classless. So it just shows you that the Democrats have nothing in the realm of ideas. So it's sad. It's sad for them. Thank you so much, Mike. Yeah, tearing up the speech was definitely a bad look. Yeah. So yeah, gotta bless everyone on here. If you want to shoot me an instant message, whatever, or like me on Facebook, Instagram, and if you go to the YouTube channel, you'll see links at the top. Those are my social media things. Or you can go to kyleSuggs.com, and that's my website, which is not, and it has different things I do there as well. So anyway, everybody have a great night tonight, and I hope you enjoy what's going on. And for the acquittal tomorrow, I may even do a video on that. That should happen around 4:00. I think Senator Collins said that she was going to vote for acquittal, which is good. If she's going to vote for acquittal, that's pretty much means, it's going to be a done deal. Anyway, they really needed 19 votes. They needed 19 Republicans to flip for it to work. And that was never going to happen. Even if they could have mounted some kind of coup, it would have been at most, by my count, maybe 11 shaky guns, but nowhere near 19. So we were never in danger there. They just wanted to budget the president into the election. But today, Gallup poll, I'll say this, that's the last thing I'll say is this. The Gallup poll came out this week or today, where the Republican Party has had its highest favorability since 2005, the first time over 51%, up from, I think, 43% a year ago. So from 53 to 40, 51 to, 51 to 43 was at 8 points. And President Trump is at 49% for Gallup poll, which is registered voters, which means it's really about 55%. So, all right. So with that, everybody have a great evening. Again, one more time, if you like this channel where you see culture, TV, movies filtered right, please click the like and subscribe button and the bell icon, and so you won't miss any future content. God bless you. God bless America. And I'll see you next time.